Live. Here we go. I have funny face now.
You what?
Do I have a funny face? Is my face like
No,
frozen or something?
no, I was giggling because Fanny is next to me and she was making her normal rah, 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 as she's moving
Oh.
around. Okay, I don't know if the mic's gonna pick that up.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I've got a
Good
cat
morning,
that
everybody.
snores, so
Oh, nice.
good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. Dave.
Good morning.
How you doing today? It's a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, beautiful here. It was great over the weekend too, and we're getting into the 70s. This by the end of the week, we're supposed to have 80.
Woohoo! I'm all
Oh,
over that.
I don't know what that
So
is
excited.
Canadian. I mean
Yeah, it's
Celsius.
going to be up there too. It's like, yes. So excited about it. So, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And I would like to say a very special good morning to a wonderful group of people that like to start their Monday mornings with us. Dr. Dave shared that with me. So, if you could say a little bit more about these wonderful people that are beginning their day with us every Monday morning.
Yeah, sorry. A friend, our friend Rayanne, is working at a facility, assisted living facility. So they, and a lot of the employees, she's been sharing our stuff and being able to find that it's really targeting everything that's happening in their lives and how it's really she's always saying like that was for me, that was for me. I needed to hear that, so which is exactly why we do what we do. So the invitation to be able to have the folks putting it on the TV so that the folks at the assisted living then have another way of having communication throughout the day so them and the staff can potentially have conversations about what ifs and looking at possibilities. So starting that whole day for everybody in that positive, because that's what we choose to do. And so what if you all out there in any part of the world started doing the same thing about sharing the podcast or when you're coming on with us, making sure that you have it streaming for other folks because you have no idea who needs to hear what it is that we're talking about because we don't either. So help everybody else and do what it is that they can do by just sharing it because just like that, we had no idea the impact that it could actually do in reach and it's all positive and obviously it's kid friendly. So as long as the camera's on, it's kid friendly. So
Yes, it
if we're
is.
having if we're having technical issues, then we'd usually turn that off. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody that's following, or more importantly, to all of those folks that aren't able to join us live, that they're able to watch all of the replay, and they hear it and see it exactly when it's meant for them. So, yay! Thank you all for joining
Yes.
us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you and good morning. So it is another wonderful, wonderful day. So the Devas have thrown out some cards for me this morning. So the first one is Cardamom. So these are the resources. This sits in the space where these are the resources we currently have. So let's take a look and see what Cardamom has. I think this is our first time having
Yep,
Cardamom, isn't it?
it is.
Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in again and release. I am Cardamom, and I help with releasing past traumas and experiences, balancing the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy bodies. Do you have past experiences that are blocking you from moving forward? Are you at a place where you need to rest and heal before you can move ahead? It is time to create a quiet, sacred space for you. Having a sacred space is so, so important. Just like it's like a timeout chair, but in a good way, like
Right.
It's like, all
Yeah, that's
right, I'm
great.
out of here. I'm going to go sit in my time out, which is my sacred place, and I'm going to hang out there for a bit. And so, if you don't have a sacred space, it doesn't have to be big, but having the resource, even if it's like a chair in the corner of your room. Now, don't make that chair the dumping ground for
Yeah.
everything. When you come in your room, it's like, bloop, and that's where it sits. That's not the purpose of that. It's to create this space where you like to go. So whether you go there to journal or to read or to meditate, and bring in your favorite things like crystals and colors and whatever, brings you joy, whether it's flowers or whatever it is, and just create that space, because each one of us needs a space. I guess it would be to call our own, but it's more of just having a space where you can just kind of close off the world and just go, I'm going to come and sit in this space that brings me joy and connect with source. So a lot of times with us all working from home, like some of us work from home or we have homeschooling children, we got kids all over, and that's fine, but it's nice to have that space. Just like kids, they need that space as well to go and just hang out and do what they do, and just be. So the resources that we currently have, we always have the choice to create spaces. And as I said, it's not renovations and, oh, I got to do all this stuff. It's no, just clear little space. That's all it is. And, put some things there that bring you joy and see what a difference it makes, especially if you're working on creating new rituals. And I think we talked about this last week, is creating those habits to move forward. So if you're wanting to change your habits, then having that sacred space is really important, because then you're going to want to go sit there and you're going to want to journal and you're going to want to meditate, because you got a really cool place to do it. So that's another bonus of having that sacred space. And then everybody in the family knows, it's like, all right, when I'm sitting over here, you know, you guys all go do what you do. And it's that break that we need from each other as well, just to do our own thing. So what are your thoughts on that, Dr. Dave?
Ah, you know, as we were going through it, we might have actually had that one, um, cardamom before. If not, then there's another oil that is super similar, just because of
Hmm.
what we were just talking about. I'm like, this feels awful familiar. But I know that it's actually been very similar. That's been the theme, I guess, really, for a lot of the oils lately have been about creating, that wonderful sacred place that is for us, but it's also where we're moving into next.
Mhm.
Cardamom, first thing I think of when for the oil itself is I know that that is in everything blends that we used in a go-to for breathing challenges. And so for me, if but looking at the emotional causation with it would be, what are you resisting breathing life into?
Mm.
And so it's the cardamom is that wonderful essence that's going to be able to help with that, because it's going to help us give the deservability to ourselves, giving ourselves permission to be able to step into that new place that you're choosing, whatever that might be. And it's okay also where you've come from. Cardamom is asking us to let go of any of that anger, that resentment, frustration that's been there, and that we're not taking those next steps forward into the thing or the beingness of who we're wanting to be. And so cardamom is that wonderful invitation for us to breathe into the new life that you're looking to
Mm.
illuminate, with your soul. And so in our Native American traditions, we know that our breath is sacred. So we never breathe into anything unless because from a Native tradition, thinking is you're breathing your soul into it. And so if you're not if you're not doing that though into the existence, into the words, into your affirmations, your mantras, That's why breath work is so critically important. It's because we're putting our soul into it. We're igniting it and illuminating it with our soul energy. And cardamom helps us get to that place, and invites us to let go of any of those resistance things that are there, so that we can really embody what it is that we want to be, because we're putting ourselves, literally putting ourselves into it as we breathe into it. Ta-da! That's all I got.
Very awesome. I love the breathing into it because we are very shallow breathers usually, and just we do a lot of breathing here in the conversations with the divas. We like to breathe in essential oils because they're so awesome.
Mhm.
But just to even just be aware of your breath a couple times through the day. Put alarm on your phone, and just to do like either the box breathing, like you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, you know, blow
Mhm.
out for 4, and then back, and you just keep doing it. And that just realigns as well. It just reconnects everything back together. So breathing is very important, and just doing that, especially if you're stressed. What I like to do when I'm having certain technical challenges every once in a while,
No.
I will take a step back and I will breathe.
Mm.
And then I will call my good friend Dr. Dave and go, help me, please. But I breathe and I do a lot of deep breathing. And then it's like, just going to walk away from the computer now. And I'll look up for a few minutes because I have
Perfect.
windows here.
Right. It gets a one-way ticket out the window.
Exactly. But then I
Take
would be
flight.
very sad because then I wouldn't be able to talk to everybody. So that's where the breathing comes in very well. So our next one is clove. And those are the things that we need to release. So let's see what we're releasing today. It is time to look within, reflect, and ask why. Why do I sabotage my relationships, goals, and myself? I am Clove, and I am here to gently help you reflect and understand the causes of why, and simply let them go. Dream time is a wonderful time to understand what's going on. Before bed, ask your guides to show you the areas or beliefs you need to let go of in order for your life to move forward. It can sometimes be scary to look within. I am here to provide courage and let you know you are protected with the light of the divine and always safe. Ooh, well, as we know, this is a really good time for regeneration. It's springtime. We're coming out of the winter and we're just breathing in that sunshine, and it's time to release just the heaviness of winter and to burst forward really on anything that we're choosing to do. So and it's interesting because we've been doing this for quite a few weeks now to see how every week sort of stacks upon itself and just has a theme. There's a theme going on here, and it's moving forward and releasing what no longer serves you, because we're all here to light up the world in our very special way. Each one of us is going to be different than the other. There's only one of you, and you're pretty special. So to be able to shine your light means that some things that you may have been doing up till now don't serve you any longer. So they just need to be released. And when you decide to commit to that and go, okay, well, this is no longer who I am, this is who I'm becoming, by creating that sacred space, by making those goals and really stepping into who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world, then, and using the oils as well. That's what I found when using the oils is it's very gentle. So after a year of using them every day, I look back and went, wow, my life doesn't look like that anymore. But
Mhm.
it's very gentle. So maybe friends or habits or things that really didn't serve you and kind of hurt your soul just kind of fell away. There was no drama. It was just like they're doing their thing, they're on their journey, and now you're moving forward on yours. So it doesn't have to be this whole hullabaloo thing and oh, it's terrible. It's not like that. It's very gentle. And when you start to commit to moving forward, there's going to be people that choose on their journey to stay where they are. And that's okay because that's their journey. But for those who are moving forward, then you want to, and it's interesting because when you start creating those goals, then all these wonderful people that are there to support you and have friendships and connections just seem to appear out of nowhere. That's how I met Dr. Dave. It was just like these things just fell into place and we decided to do this project together and we became really good friends. And, it's that easy. And it was simple. It wasn't like, I've got to find some new friends. It was just like the universe just, here you go. And it's that simple. And just like letting the things go that no longer serve you, it just, you'll sit back one day and go, oh, I haven't heard from, so and so in a while. And it's because, well, because you're doing your thing, they're doing their thing. So
Mhm.
what are your thoughts, Dr. Dave?
Ooh, so Clove, I chuckled as soon as you started to read that, and to me, Clove is a that's a heavy hitter. That's one of to me, that's how I've used it and worked with it. Because one, it is one of those hot oils that you definitely want to use a carrier oil for if you're going to use it topically or internally. Um, yeah. There's a lot it's incredible in the properties that clove does with cleaning the air, helping bacteria get rid of it, and all of those things. But the thing for me that when that pops up, when clove comes up, if we're doing a scan or anything for anyone, and or intuitively that clove comes up for them, the first thing that I think of is that we need to address a victim mentality.
Ooh.
And so clove is that one is it is definitely the oil of boundaries, of setting them, but it's establishing them and maintaining them, because that's always the challenge that I think most folks have is maintaining those boundaries. So having that victim mentality, to me, is always cloves asking us to look at where are we using our victim stance as a badge of honor? Are we using it as a currency? Are we using it as a kinship? And I know these sound super weird, odd questions, but if you really get very truthful with yourself and start asking and looking at those questions, not from a perspective of, bad you, it's more about how can I change the vocabulary that I'm doing and how I identify as me in the world? Because so many of us will in identify by their disease process, by their circumstance, or what's happened to them. Those are part of your journey, they're not you. So how long do you choose to use that as your defining moments and who you are? And so the moments we can start looking at differently and start using different vocabulary, that's when we can clove will help us step into that new, again, that new phase of who we want to become, because otherwise you can't heal to a vibratory pattern higher than where you're at if you're staying in the victim stance. And so clove is that oil that's going to help bolster and hold that space for you, that foundation that you're establishing until that it becomes second nature for you. Clove is that one that is, no, this is absolutely where we're standing. We're not moving backwards on it. And it's a choice. And that's where we're starting to really move out of the vocabulary from need to and have to I'm choosing, which is moving from survival vocabulary into empowered vocabulary. And so Clove is that one that really is it to me it always is a heavy hitter. That's why I'm like, ooh, we got some work to do. Awesome. All right, let's get to this. So I get super excited when that pops up for a client, because I'm like, oh, that's where we are. Oh, this is fun. Let's look at this. And so we're getting ready to literally, because to me, it almost is it's a fire almost, similar because it gets paired with cinnamon a lot. And so it's that burning away the old ways, the old paradigms that we've had and shared and used. So Clove is always inviting us to ask, what victim stance or what victim mentality are you using in your vocabulary, your speech, your mannerisms as a way of currency in your life? And so let me give you an example of that because some people are probably going, what? The currency is when you meet someone, or say, well, it was Easter, yesterday. So we were probably, some folks were around, people that we don't see very often, or new people perhaps. And some of the first things that we do, we ask, like, oh, what do you do? And then as the conversation goes in, there's usually pretty quick on in that conversation is something's going to, it's going to be a place where you're able to interject what you're going to use for currency. And so either it's going to be your job, or it's going to be your status, and that being, I'm a mom of six, or I'm an engineer, I'm a pilot, any of those. But then there's also the next thing that people will use then is I'm a cancer survivor. That's a form of currency. It can be a place of power, because you're establishing that you have gone through it, and you're owning that, and that's terrific. But how long do you want to hold on to that and that be still your defining moments? Because at some point you're going to want to move past that into I am a traveler of the world. I'm, whatever those things are. So it's really important for us to look at how do I identify myself to others. And so looking at that is going to give you some incredible insights of how we want to interact with the rest of the world. And clove is that oil that will hold that space for us so that we can move through and let go of any of those things that are not really serving and keeping us in alignment with where we want to be and where we want to go in our life.
Very well said. Yes, that whole victim mentality is it's not a good place. Like if that's your journey, then that's fine, but it doesn't define the beautiful bright light that you are inside. And instead of being a victim, why not flip that and utilize that as your message for the world? And use that to share with other people and go, hey, you know what? This is what I went through and I'm no longer here. This is where I am. And so that you can create change in others. You were given that experience for a reason. And it's not to sit there and go, poor me. It's to shift that and to say, hey, you know, this is what I went through. You might be feeling something similar, but you know what? There is a way out. Here's some tools that you can use to get there. So when you were saying that clove is hot oil and it's like one of the heavy hitters, I think of the colors and with red and orange, because they're both very hot colors. Orange is a motivating color, as is all the hot colors, but orange is motivating and more takes you, and just like, let's go this way. Red, however, and this is what I was chuckling about when you said it's a heavy hitter. Red is like, we're going this way, and kind of gives you a kick in the butt to get you moving, because it's like, hey, time is short and you've got a mission here. So let's stop wallowing in this tar pit of negativity and let's actually get you out, get you moving so that you can share those gifts that and the tools that you figured out on your journey to help others, because that's why you had that experience, is to share it with others. who are waiting to hear. And if you don't get out of that tar pit, then there's going to be a lot of lives that aren't going to be helped by the way that you bring your message across. So it's really, really important. So I think that Clove is like this way
Hmm. Yep,
now.
absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
And our
That's
last
awesome.
one is geranium. And this is how everything's going to play out. And it always plays out in the highest and best for everybody. And it's just awesome because the universe has a bigger plan than we could ever imagine. And it's always more than we could have ever imagined. So as you breathe in my scent, think about where you are at this very moment. Are you living small, fearful of your own potential, or are you dreaming big? Hi, I'm Geranium, and I am here to help you work through any barriers that are holding you back from being the best possible self you can be. There is beauty of the rose in each one of us. Our mission on this earth is to let the rose bloom so that you may share the world with your unique talents, knowledge, and love that only you can give. What was I just saying?
Right.
So it's interesting how the nature's divas are all in connection with the universe going, hey, we're just going to give you a sign here. That last card is just going to be exactly what Brenda just said. And you did not see me read ahead because I wasn't.
Right.
So it's really about taking stock of where you are now. Are you dreaming big? Are you thinking, okay, rather than wallowing in this poor me and just getting pity from everybody else, which is, you don't need that. You want to live a life. We're here to live and live it to the fullest. Then let's, move forward, get those goals going. What are the tools? Like find some coaches and really rock what you're doing and help light this world up with the special um, things that you can share. So
Awesome. Geranium, for me is it's a really gentle oil, which is really fun how we kind of ramped up and then because you need to kind of get that movement and that motivation and everything, but it also is the um that gentle, nice, easy sailing part of things. Once you get there, then this one's really to geranium when I see it the most for folks when it pops up for them is it's the oil of love and trust, meaning it's the to start trusting yourself again, start trusting in others, start trusting in the world again. Even though that we've come through some horrific times or some major traumas, whatever that storyline is, your history, allow for the present to be wonderful and illuminated. And just know that you can trust that the universe is going to have more in store for us. And so, yeah, we want to have those boundaries. Now that we've established boundaries that are healthy for ourselves, now trust in that process and that the universe is going to provide you with the people that you can trust. So you might have had some great contrast who you shouldn't be trusting, and that might have not been you, or that could have been you not trusting your own judgment because you didn't have a proper way of doing that. Now moving through that, this is the time where geranium invites you to, all right, let's, now that we've gotten that, now you know what some of that looks like and where we don't want to go. Now we need to open the door so that the new folks, the new people, the new experiences can then be ushered in so that it can be the magic that we're wanting to create in our world.
absolutely. And it's reconnecting to our heart, unconditional love, connect with your soul. Just
Mhm.
that's why you need that sacred space to be able to connect with source, to connect with your soul and your heart and to see what they've been saying all along, because they've been trying to talk to you. And if you haven't been listening, then they're going to have lots to say. So I want to take a journal and a pen in with you.
Right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do you have any closing thoughts on this, Dr. Dave?
It seems that we might have kind of laid out a two or a three-step process of pretty transformational things that can happen in our life
Mm-hmm.
if we allow it. And so that's what the invitations were today is those oils. If you don't have them, you don't have to have them to be able to have the benefits because if you believe or subscribe to the all is one and we're all connected in the universe, you can call in that energy and feel that. So just by talking about it, you can be in that vibratory pattern of each one of the oils. So you don't necessarily have to be in it. You can ask for it to be with you. Your guides, your spirit team, whoever, the universe is going to be able to bring that energy into you so you still get to experience it. So it doesn't mean that you can't do any of these things if you don't have the oils. I highly recommend that you do get these oils if you don't, but but you just know that you can call that in and just feel what that is because intentionality is absolutely everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so take a look at some of the process. This is a three-step process that you might want to take a look at um, and share that with other folks, what they've done. And maybe it's time for you to offer someone else a three-step process that you just heard about from these two folks, having this weird, funny show thing that they do every Monday. And then apparently they have technical difficulties or something. But it's
We're
sharing it
getting to
with
be professional, you know.
absolutely. So that's it for the closing for me today is who do we need? No, let me rephrase that. Who do we get to gift the oils, the three-step process, these oils, in their wisdom and the invitations that they bring us today? We got to do that here with each of us. Now, who else needs to hear that? Who else can we share that with?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Dave. And thank you, everyone who's watching, either live or on the replay. Please let us know in the comments what you think. We always like to hear from everybody and see what their thoughts are and what resonated with them. And we are going to be right back with our second part of our show with the what ifs and positive possibilities. So I'm very excited about that to see how that all connects and wraps it up in a nice little package. And then we'll be back next week for another episode and a lot more fun times. And it's always a wonderful Monday morning to spend it with my friend Dr. Dave and with all of you. So thank you so much for joining in and have a wonderful week wherever you are. And we'll talk to you soon.
Hey,
Take
Miss
care.
Brenda, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where might folks be able to find those cards?
Oh, you can get them at naturesdevas.com, and it's Devas is how you spell divas. So yes, you can pick them up
Awesome.
there, and yep, I will send them off to you. So thank you for
Thank you.
asking that. I appreciate it. All right, have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.